Hey guys, welcome back to the Tearing It Up podcast. Happy Wednesday, motherfuckers. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. You might not know him. You might know him. Rafa Caballero.
I think at this point, at this stage, you can say the last name with a Spanish accent. Give it a go.
Rafa Caballero.
Muy bien.
I can't really roll my R's very well.
You are getting better though.
Caballero.
Try to give me a rrr. It's kind of like a grrr.
Avoided saying Rafa's last name for like the first 6 months of dating because I was like, I won't be able to say it right. I also never say Rafa. Well, I do. I say Rafa like in content so that people like, know.
Sure.
But I don't say it to you. We call each other Fafis and Tatis. That's actually on my list for today's episode to talk about the origin of Fafis and Tatis.
Wait, that's a good one.
So let's just dive right in really quick. Also, I'm kind of dead because it's like 5 p.m. right now. Rafa just walked in from the office from work. And I'm like, he walked in and I had I've
had such a long day at work. And I'm excited to be here, obviously. I walk into the door. This setup, the lights, blinds are down. Mike is ready to go. She's like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, wait. So now I'm drinking this is not the official sponsor of the podcast, but it's a Hayo, which is a sparkling watermelon lime functional seltzer. Supposed to have some bullshit in it. L-theanine, blah, blah, blah. Supposed to make you kind of social and no caffeine. It's just functional botanicals to celebrate life. Not wasted.
Period.
Alcohol alternative. So let's see if I get talkative and energetic.
I'm drinking a Kin Euphorics Luna Morada metabolic tonic. Wait, you literally clocked out of work to clock back in.
I know.
Thank you for that. I usually don't record at this hour because this is the hour where my brain doesn't work and like I have no thoughts. Actually, this is like the worst time of the day. Right?
It sucks. Yeah, like
between 4 and 6. It's kind of like you don't know what to do because you're not like productive still, but it's also like not time to like make dinner or eat yet.
And it's like, you know, when you finish work, and I guess normal people would be like, oh, like perfect time, going to walk, whatever. But like we woke up very early today. We had an early workout. We've done our exercise of the day. But when I get home and my brain is fried from work, like I don't think I have like the creativity and let's just dive right in and ha ha ho ho.
But that's why you're drinking your Hio, your Hayo.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I feel like this is like the dead part of the day. Like it's like the dead zone. It's like the place you go in between heaven and hell. What's that called again? Purgatory?
I guess. Well, we're here.
It's like that part of the day where okay.
Let's make the most of it.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, welcome back to Tearing It Up. Today we're back here with Rafa, my favorite guest to have because I feel like I don't have to use my brain too much. And you know, he's great at carrying the conversation when I start to like not be able to speak anymore. So I love having you on and all of our episodes have been really fun. Would you agree?
Oh, look what I have now. I do agree, of course. And now I have a cat on me. What?
Yeah, if you're watching the video, Cowboy just joined us and we love that. Hopefully Whiskey comes over and joins us soon. I even fluffed up the couch for your arrival.
I see. Thanks.
Does it look better?
It does.
This couch, we love this couch because we love the fabric of it. It's like this like greenish, kind of grayish green.
It changes colors.
It changes kind of colors based on the light. We waited months and months and months for it to come in. And it wasn't a cheap couch. It was like a couch that I was like, okay, let's invest in a couch because, you know, we needed a good couch. My old couch, it wasn't bad, but it was bad. It broke in half and it was pretty uncomfortable at times. Guys, this couch, it's from Joybird, and I have to say the cushions are flattening like a motherfucker. Like on the daily, like they are getting flatter. Rafa and I go into the store in the Domain, and Rafa goes, "So what do we do about that?" And the guy was like, "Well, we typically recommend you replace it."
But I mean, it's one of those where like it really adapts to your body weight, I guess. So like if you're leaning on it in a specific position, it'll kind of morph into that, so it's comfy on the spot, and then you stand up and it's like all fucked up. But then I mean you just extend it and like shake it and it's back.
If you're good about fluffing it, it looks good.
Like
but
it's all right.
Sometimes I look at it, I'm like, oh, she looks worn and we've only had her 7 months.
But it's okay, look, well, let's say this. It's a great couch, and the reason why it took us so long to get this couch is because we were in the mutual agreement that especially if you're moving in with your partner, one of the most important things, in my opinion, is having a good couch. You spend a lot of time in your free time on the couch.
At least we do. Not everybody.
Not everybody. No, but I mean,
some people don't watch TV like we do.
Right. I mean, it's not only just TV, but like all of the periods of the day, the weekends when you're just chilling or lounging, I feel like people tend to be more on the couch than like in bed. So I think that
a good couch is
if you're able to invest in somewhat of a good couch, like it could go a long way. And for us, I do love this couch. It's very comfy.
I do. I think it looked really nice. And we do spend a lot of time on it. Anyways, enough about the couch. Sorry, that's not a very exciting intro. Fafis and Tatis, where did they come from? So I call Rafa Fafis. He calls me Tatis. And those nicknames have just stuck for years at this point. And it's like we only refer to each other like that. Like even in public and around people, like we just call each other that.
Yeah, I call you Tatis. Like,
and it's to the point where like his friends call me Tatis. Like
my parents
call me Tatis. His sister, like everybody pretty much calls me that. Even Amelia has been calling me Tatis recently. I love it. And so a lot of people now call you Fafis.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Yeah. And it started because, well, when we first met, Rafa would say my name like, he wouldn't say it bad, but he would say like Taryn. Like it, like I could tell that he was like straining his vocab, like his voice to say my name. He'd be like Taryn. Like it always just sounded so weird.
It's just not an easy word to roll of the tongue when sometimes, because obviously like I'm fluent in English perfectly, but specific words sometimes like they don't just flow easily.
It didn't flow.
So I can pronounce your name like Taryn, but when I'm meeting you and like we're starting to like get to know each other, like just saying that all the time, it was kind of not difficult, but it was just easy.
But you would say like Taryn, like you would say it a little weird,
like Taryn.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but you say it better now. But at the time, you said it a little weird, and then you were just like, "Can I like call you something else?" And then his friend started calling me Katarina because like Katerina, I don't know, Katarina, like because I guess you can kind of hear Taryn in that. And then that became a nickname for a couple months, which turned into Kata, Cata, which also is a ladybug.
Well, Katarina is a ladybug.
Yeah.
And then, yes, exactly. Like my Mexican friends, like as a joke, they start calling you like Katarina because you write the Taryn in it.
And then it turned
into
Tata.
And then you love ladybugs, so it was perfect. Like Katarina, just as a joke. But then that was too long, so then I was just like, Kata. But then I was like, wait, Kata doesn't really make sense.
So it was Tata.
And then it changed to Tata. Like, hey,
Tata made sense.
Yeah, like Tata. And I'd be like, Tata, hey, Tata. But
and then I know what happened. Sorry.
And then it was Annie that I think started saying Tatis.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Annie's his sister. But I thought what happened was you told me that your uncle calls you Fafis. And then I started calling you Fafis. And then you just started calling me Tatis because like it rhymes. But maybe I'm wrong.
It could have been. I mean.
Or maybe it was Annie, actually.
I'm pretty sure Annie started calling you Tatis. But for me, obviously my name is Rafa. And in Mexico, my uncles, blah, blah, blah. My dad is also Rafa. So within my family and my uncles and stuff, I'm usually Rafis, Rafita. But a lot of my uncles call me Rafis. But then I have one specific uncle who always has called me Fafis. So I guess, yeah, it might have just come up whenever. And then it kind of stuck with you. And then I guess it does rhyme with Tatis. And then Tatis, Fafis. And then
they're perfect.
It's just so easy. And then now to me, you're like Tatis, you know?
Tatis and Fafis.
Like every time I say, like, even in public, you're right. It's like Tatis.
Yeah. When I call you Rafa, you're like, what the?
Yeah. When you whip out like randomly, like, hey, Rafa, I'm like, what?
Okay. Well, for today's episode, sorry. Anyways, enough about that. How is that tasting?
I mean, it's pretty good. It's crispy. Refreshing. I don't know if it does anything, but maybe it's placebo.
Yeah. Okay. So wait, actually, before we get started, something I've been doing on all my episodes. Well, when I say that, I think I've done it on one, but that I'm going to start doing on all my episodes is what I'm eating, what I'm watching, what I'm wearing, and what I'm listening to that week. So you're going to do that with me this week. Okay.
That's cool.
I know.
I like it.
I need to come up with a name for it, but we don't have that yet. We don't got production for that quite yet, but I'm going to start with what I'm eating and then you go.
Okay.
What I'm eating this week are breakfast bowls. AKA breakfast salads, AKA Babs, big ass breakfast salads. Can't take the name. My friend Jade, who was on the podcast, kind of invented Babs, that term. But I've been loving, I think I like diverted from my smoothie this week because I think I'm drinking too much whey protein. Like I have it in a smoothie and then I have it in a Ninja Creamy at night. And I think it's causing me to break out. So I need to cut back on my whey a little bit. Whatever. So I've been making breakfast bowls this week where I do like arugula, 2 fried eggs, a sausage, half of an avocado, and cottage cheese with hot honey and chili flakes. And guys, it is so good and it takes 10 minutes to make and I'm obsessed. Your turn.
What I'm eating this week? Well,
like what's something you're like hyper fixating on eating?
Well, I eat the same thing for lunch every single day, which is sweet green. There's a sweet green right in front of my office. So it's just so easy and it makes me feel good mentally that I'm putting a healthy lunch in my stomach. I recently started having morning smoothies before work. I haven't had breakfast for the past like 8 years. In 2017, I got into like the whole...
That's a little bit of a stretch.
No, what do you mean?
You mean you've had breakfast?
No, I know, but like what? Well, okay, yeah, sure. But what I'm trying to say is that like in 2017, 2018, when like intermittent fasting hit the market, I tried it and I loved it. And then I just fasted for years. So normal, I would just skip breakfast. My first meal of the day would always be like around noon or 1. But then I feel like in the past few weeks, since I'm trying to eat more protein, I just started, and with all the running and stuff, I just feel like I need more fuel. So I started doing morning smoothies and I like it. So it's milk, just a little bit of milk, Fairlife, and then Pro Mix protein powder, chia seeds, blueberries, bananas, PB Fit, yogurt, Armra, Athletic Greens.
Jesus Christ.
And that's it.
That's like kind of crazy. Athletic Greens, Armra, Pro Mix. Like, okay, sponsor him.
See you later.
Help me out. Okay, great. Now, what are we eating? What we're wearing? What am I wearing this week? What are you wearing this week? I need to think about mine. I know what I'm not wearing.
What?
My contacts. That's mine of the week because fuck, guys, I had an episode a couple nights ago because I recently got contacts as an adult because like my eyesight just got really bad in the last couple of years and I'd been putting it off for a really long time. Finally went to the eye doctor and got contacts because I was squinting so much that it was like, I think it's giving me wrinkles and it's just not good for you to squint like that all the time. So I get contacts. I was wearing them and I had an episode the other night because I could not get this contact out of my eye to save my life. I started crying. Rafa was literally like, be so for real right now. He was laying in bed like, get it together, girl. Take the contact out. Because I
was like, dude, like there's kids that use contacts. I used contacts when I was a child. Like it's fine. Like just take it out.
I was having a full on episode like in tears. And then finally I just tried using my other hand and I got it out. I just, for whatever reason, can't use my left hand for shit.
Something that's funny, let me just add, is obviously we've been together for almost 3 years. I never knew she used glasses. Ever. You've never once mentioned in the first 2 years of us being together that you used glasses. So I've always assumed you've had normal 20/20 vision. And then out of nowhere, 2 years in, you're like, yeah, I kind of guess I need glasses. And then you go get your exam and like, the doctor was like, yes. And like, now you use glasses and contacts. And I was like, why have you never like said anything?
I know. Cause I was just like, I'm going to live with my bad vision because I hated the glasses I had. I mean, you saw them. They were bad.
Yeah. But the glasses you have now are sick.
Yeah. But I love these glasses that I'm wearing. They're from Moscow, but they're very heavy. I need a better like daytime wear glasses. Cause these ones they're a little heavy and they can get a little uncomfortable if I wear them for too long. But anyway, so I'm going to say what I'm not wearing and that's my contacts. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing Elwood.
You're always wearing Elwood, but I'll take it. You're wearing all Elwood right now.
Actually, yeah, my sweatpants are Elwood. My t-shirt is Elwood. I've been wearing Elwood for a few years.
No-show socks.
I'm not wearing no-shows any longer.
Rafa used to only wear
staple in my closet.
Strictly wore no-show socks when we first met.
Yeah.
But I converted him to regular socks because, guys, no-show socks on a man, it's just not.
I've never been a sock guy. And once you turn into a sock guy, like it's always so cheesy when you're like, oh, just like gift someone a man in your life like a pair of socks, and it's like, oh, that's so cliche and shitty. But when you get gifted a nice pair of socks, it goes a long way. Like it changed my life, changing to like good. I know
those
socks,
are good socks,
and I love them. So
what I'm wearing, what I'm eating, what I'm listening to. I'm listening to. I've been listening. I'm like clearly haven't even thought through my own answers. I've been re-listening to old Lizzie McAlpine albums because I love her, and I was obsessed with so many of her older albums, and then like you forget they exist, and now I've been re-listening, and I just love her, and that's mine. What's yours?
I think you know mine.
Afro House.
Yeah, I do listen to Afro House a lot. I listen to that all the time. I guess for context, I have a separate TikTok account that I've had for 2-ish years where I curate music, like electronic music, and I share new music every Friday as it comes out. So I feel like every week, I'm in that space. I'm finding new music. I'm sharing it. I'm posting it. So that's honestly what I listen to all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a loaded question asking you what you're listening to because you're always listening to like 1,500 new songs every week.
Yeah.
You can scroll back and see my liked songs, 2 scrolls, and you're like at last year. Wait. Yeah.
Like 2024.
Literally like 2 scrolls and you're like in 2024. 2 scrolls of Rafa's and you're in yesterday. Like actually, this man has saved so much music. It's insane. We like have completely opposite Spotify vibes. And the funniest thing is this is actually a great story time for the podcast. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
When we first met, the first thing I do when I meet a guy, well, maybe not the first thing, but one of the first things I would do when I'd meet a guy is like you find his Spotify, right? I think you can tell so much about a man based off of his Spotify. You can. You really can. Like you can tell if he's going to be a douchebag based off his Spotify. Been there. Anyways, I find Rafa's Spotify. We're like kind of just in the flirting stage, and I see that he has like all this like crazy niche, like indie cool music, like artists I've never even heard of. Like he has all these playlists built out, and like a lot of them have like a lot of saves. Like he's like Spotify famous and has all these like cool albums with like the perfectly curated playlist cover that I don't even know where the fuck he found it, with all these like this cool music. Like it was just giving like cool vibes. And I was like, oh my God, like he has such cool like niche music taste. And I'm like, I have shit music taste. Like I have the worst music taste ever. I'm like, I got to get my shit together because I can tell this guy's like super into music because he'd told me how he always like goes to concerts and like he was always going to live music. And I'm like, oh my God, he loves music. Like I need to get my shit together. I spend the next like 3 days building my Spotify, guys. I'm building out like 20 different playlists. I have like Kumbaya, and then I have like meditation, and then I have like indie beats, and like I built out all these playlists. I'm not kidding. They're so funny. I could probably find them right now what I called them because I need to see what they are. But anyway, so I built out all of these playlists because I just knew at one point he would see my Spotify. And I'm like digging in the depths of Spotify to find these songs. And like I'm kind of going into the artists that you had in your playlist, and then I'm going to like similar, because you know how you can find like similar artists, and then I'm saving their music and I'm building all these playlists. And then I was like, I don't know how it got brought up, but we're like talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm like super into making playlists. And you were like, no way. And I was like, yeah, I'll send you them. And I like sent them to you, and you were like, wow. And it was all a lie. It wasn't a lie. I liked the music, but was I fabricating?
It was all game. It was all game. And I will say this. It fucking worked. And if there's one thing you can get out of this podcast, especially if you're into a guy, if you're in the talking stage with a guy, or if there's a guy that you want to go after, music is obviously such a worldwide adopted thing. Everyone connects over music. That is probably one of the best things you ever did that I was like, oh shit. And that's all you have to do. Stalk your man or your potential man on Spotify or Apple Music. Go to their playlist. Scan through a few of the songs. Add them to your own playlist. And then click on a song. Go to radio. It'll give you a ton of songs that are similar. Save a few. Add them to your playlist. Send it to him. He's going to be like, holy fuck. She has similar interest in me. And from there, it's easy.
No,
Do it.
I had Happy
Try
Groovy, Celeste, In the Kitchen, Kumbaya, Summer 22. Like the most, I'm dead. But yeah, I was like curating hard because I wanted you to think that I had good music taste. And then
I did, and
I ended up
worked.
developing better music taste because you put me onto a lot of good music. So now, do I still have shit music taste? Yes, but like it's definitely better than it was. Okay, what we're watching. We just finished The Bachelor last night.
Sleeper.
Boring season. Grant like never was giving anything. Joey was so much better. Sorry. I was bored. I loved watching Joey's season. Although like he was really nice. Like we didn't really have a lot of drama in that season, I feel like. Like we could have used a little more spice, I think, from him. But regardless, like the Grant season was so boring, I feel like.
Me too. I mean, obviously, sure, he's a nice guy, but it was a snooze fest.
It was a snooze fest.
So let's move on from that.
I know we won't go on about it, but I will say I just have a couple points on it.
Yeah.
Juliana, she seemed really genuinely happy and giddy when she won, and I thought that was really cute. Like I think it seemed very genuine. And two, Lydia, I think she stood on business, and I think she totally like came back looking snatched at the finale, and he was probably like, oh fuck, I really fucked this girl over. And I think that was a blessing in disguise for her because she's going to find someone way better anyways. Okay. Bachelor's over and we finished Severance.
We're watching White Lotus. We recently finished Paradise on Hulu. If you haven't watched Paradise, it's
good.
Such a good show. And then...
we just started Adolescence.
We just started watching Adolescence on Netflix, 4 episodes.
It's a little slow, but it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a little slow. It's just the fact that every episode is shot in one scene. Like when you're watching it, think about the fact that the camera never cuts once.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It's crazy. Like the acting is so good. So we're watching Adolescence and White Lotus, and I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the 4. Watching, eating, listening, wearing.
Love it.
Okay. Now, I had a topic for today's episode, but then I went on my Instagram story and I asked questions for Rafa and for us for the podcast. And you guys asked so many good questions that I just want to make this a Q&A because there's just so many things to answer and it got me really excited. But I will save the topic we were going to talk about for a future episode. I'll leave that up to it'll be a mystery, but it will be coming back and talking about it because I do want to chat about that.
Yeah, it's a good topic.
It's a great topic. But anyways, I think we're going to do a Q&A today because these questions were just really fun and I or Rafa am in no way, shape, or form prepared to answer them, but we're just going to go for it.
Is it for the both of us or just you're going to ask them to me?
Well, some are, there's no structure here.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Well, while we're on the topic of TV, one of the ones was if we could watch one TV show for the rest of our lives, what would it be?
Like once it finishes, you just rewatch it or what?
Like you could just watch one show for the rest of your life.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never watched that with me.
Well, because I already saw all 11
really?
or 10 seasons.
Never.
But I love it. I love Larry David.
Mine would be White Lotus, I think.
I see.
I love White Lotus. Every season has been amazing and I just love the character development and it's the type of humor that like I really laugh at. So I really like it.
Yeah.
When did I know you were the one?
Ooh.
Oh my God. Actually, we can say when did we both know?
Ladies first.
I feel like it definitely wasn't like we met and I'm like, this is the one, you know, like we met and I was like, oh my God, you're my coworker. This is kind of a fling. We'll see where it goes. I really like him, but like, it wasn't like you meet and you're like, that's the one we're going to get married because obviously not. We were working together. It's like, it was just like a flirtatious, fun, exciting thing for a long time, for a couple of months. I feel like when I knew you were the one was probably when you met my family. I guess we've never talked about this. But I feel like once I saw the way you were with my family and like how much my family liked you, that's when I was like, wow, like this is like someone I could see myself being with forever.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And that's just because you were really respectful, nice. I don't know. Past relationships, I've told you this. I have told you this before. I've just never had a guy put in effort in that way. Like, sure, hey ma'am, how are you? Nice to meet you. Hi, I'm this. But you like really put in a lot of effort to connect with them and sit at dinners and like you know all my family lore, all my family tea, you know everything. Like you and my mom, like my mom talks to you like she talks to me. Like I just instantly, like they were really comfortable with you. And I never once had to like, I don't know, when you bring your significant other around your family, you feel like, I've always felt like, oh, I need to like monitor them. Are they having fun? Are they okay? Are they uncomfortable? And like with you, I could leave you with them for a day and I wouldn't even like blink about it because like I know you're fine. And then of course, seeing how much they love you helps. And the fact that I haven't announced this yet, but I probably will by the time this episode comes out. But Rafa got invited on my family vacation.
Oh yeah.
Not just any family vacation though. Like he's gotten invited on like our road trips, like going to the Oregon coast, and he's gotten invited on when we went to Montana, like road trip stuff. But Rafa got invited on an international lamb family vacation. And my parents told me once, like, you will never bring a man on a trip with us until you're married. And I assumed that was that was probably what would happen. But they fully wanted me to bring Rafa. And that's like, that just shows how much they like you. But I feel like, yeah, after seeing you with my family for the first time and like that trip we took, the very first trip we took to Oregon is when I was like, wow, this is, because I think you can't really know if somebody's the one until you see how they interact with your family and the people that you care about.
Family dynamics.
Because that's what happens. Like you become family when you get married, and it's important that they mesh into that family.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. And I think for me at least, or the way I view family, and maybe part of it is just based on how I was raised and my culture, and obviously like the value of family in Mexico is such a principal value that, you know, to me, like, even before I met your family, like, you were so, like, nervous, like, whoa, like, I'm gonna, you know, you're gonna meet my parents. Like, you were giving me all these, like, pointers and all these, like, and obviously I value that. And sure, there are nerves when you're meeting your girlfriend's family for the first time. But to me, it was always, like, such an exciting thing because at this point, obviously, like, I already like you and love you so much that it's, like, now I get to see where you come from, right? Like I get to meet the people that raised you. And like, if you're this amazing person in my eyes, like meeting your parents, your siblings, like, I don't know, like it's just super exciting. So I was never like, I mean, sure, obviously nervous, of course, but I was always excited to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why like when it happened, I didn't view it as like oh, this is a test, even though I know, like, sure, I have to impress and whatever. First impressions go a long way. But it was like this is such an exciting opportunity to connect.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to connecting and, like, see how I could connect with both of your parents together, but see how I could also connect with your mom individually, with your dad individually, and your brother individually, for sure.
Yeah.
So that was a great answer.
Yeah, it's true, though. I just think that's when I was like, when you see like your family love someone that you love, you're like, it's different. It's just like everything, the way you think about things is different. It's like, wait, they love him too. Like that's really special. And I've just never had my family really, really like someone that I was with. I mean, they've always been kind of like indifferent, like, you know, but yeah, I think that's when. What about you?
Oh, shit.
Anyways, on to you. Wait, also Whiskey just joined us.
I mean, I don't know if I have like a specific, like, oh, it was when you did this or when you did that, but I will say the period in our relationship where things started turning into like oh shit, like this is working and I can see this work for sure. And just for some quick context, I don't know, I'm sure I've said this before, maybe in some of your videos, but obviously before dating you, like my only experience with relationships was, you know, Spanish speaking, same culture, this or that. And I always in the back of my mind, like just naturally assume like I will only date like Spanish. I will only date my culture. I will end up with my culture. And I never entertained the idea of like, you know, being with an American white girl, whatever. And I think like
that's actually one of the questions was, am I the first American you dated? Like, yeah.
Yeah, like formally, sure. But to me, it was like when we met, obviously, like we clicked so instantly. We became friends so quickly. And I think it worked when it started just because since we were coworkers and neither of us like approached each other in the sense of, oh, hey, like you're cute. Let me take you out on a date. Like we just started getting along as coworkers, then friends, and then flings, and then romance.
It was a slow burn.
It was a very slow, gradual increase, I guess, progress. So to me, like, again, when we started kind of like dating and going out together, I was like, wow, like I'm having so much fun. You know, you're great. I have fun. Like we're actually really good friends. But I think it's when you started demonstrating like a genuine like, and maybe this sounds selfish, but genuine like interest in like my culture and like my language. And like I'll never forget like one of the best first impressions you gave me when the first day we met in that coffee shop with our coworkers. Because usually, like, let's say if I meet, I don't know, a girl, and where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Mexico City. It's like, oh, so cool. I've heard great things, or I love Mexico City. Like, I always wanted to go, and like that's that.
Mm-hmm.
But you, and this is super truth, like you were like, holy shit, like no way. What is it like? How was your childhood there? How was school there? How was like you asked so many like intriguing questions that I was just like, whoa, like I like it sounds like you're genuinely interested, and I thought that was so cool. And then obviously again, just to bring it back as we start dating and coexisting and blah blah blah, the fact that like you immediately started making an effort to like learn Spanish and like learn a few words, and you immediately were like, oh my god, I want to go to Mexico City. I want you to take me. I want you to show me the culture. I'm not just
don't
wanting
forget the
to.
Food.
I know. I just don't want to go to like all inclusive. Like I want you to show me. Like I want to learn. Like that to me was like, whoa, like that is so cool. I never thought like I could meet someone that would have such an interest. And I'm not obviously expecting you to turn right by any means, or like, oh, you need to be fluent in Spanish. Of course not. But when you really started demonstrating that interest and like you were wanting to learn, like that to me was like, oh shit, like
yeah,
like she's worth a lot. And that was a turning point for me for sure.
Really?
Claro, güey.
Claro, güey.
Ah, huevo, güey.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, yeah, I was just really excited. I think it was just so different than anyone I'd been with, that you had like this culture and you spoke Spanish and like you were from Mexico and like all your friends were Mexican. Like it was just, not that I hadn't been exposed to it. It's obviously I have, but in a relationship I hadn't. And it was just really exciting and new. And I mean, you know this, but like I love learning about anything, but like specifically I love learning about like places and food and just culture. Honestly, I really do like learning about it. It's really interesting to me. And it's something like whenever we're watching a show, like I'm always doing research about whatever we're watching because I just am so curious. And I just feel like I was very curious about everything and I wanted to learn. And it's like I had an idea a little bit of like what Mexican culture was just from like growing up. But since moving here, like there's just a lot more Mexican influence, I feel like, in Texas than necessarily in Oregon. And I was just really like intrigued to learn more about it. And it was so cool that like I met you and then you were from Mexico City and I'd never been. And like I just wanted to like explore and learn and specifically eat.
Yeah.
He put me on to quite a lot of foods.
And I think similarly to like what you said about your family, like obviously that I can retweet that from my end. Like my parents have never been the type, because there's a lot of Mexican families and parents that are like, you have to marry a Mexican, you have to marry someone from our social groups, whatever. My parents have always been like for my kids, right? Me, my brother, my sister, like you do you, we support you,
very,
like
very
we
chill.
support whatever you want. So when you met my parents for the first time, I was also kind of like, because obviously my parents, they speak English, they have thicker accents, whatever, but like it's not as fluid to them in a way.
Yeah.
And I was also like, ooh, like this might be a little awkward. And you showed up with such like a warm, positive attitude towards them. Like you immediately started saying the few words in Spanish that you knew, or like you would listen to what we would say in Spanish convo and passing on the table, and like you would repeat it, and like they thought that was so cool and funny, and like you just meshed with them, and I was like, I was never expecting this, but like it worked.
I was so nervous to meet them too, because like you just never know. I don't know. You told me like a lot of families, you know, they're more conservative and very like traditional, and I was a little scared because I'm like, I don't know what to expect, and they were so like awesome and nice, and it was so much easier than I thought. Like I don't know. I just thought I was gonna go into like a very like. Aren't there like SNL skits with Bad Bunny where it's like the Latino mom parents, and they're kind of like
and they're judgy and they're like hard to impress.
Yeah, and I was so scared, but they were so nice, and I feel like I'm very blessed that like you do have parents like that, because it could be
sure. And I know, I mean, I know a lot of people that
we want you to be with, you know, like another Mexican girl that speaks Spanish and we know her family or whatever, because that is common.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. I know a lot of people that's families are like that. But yeah, my parents are so chill. Like they support. I'm so grateful for that.
No, his mom pulled me aside a couple months ago here and was like, "We love you so much," and I was like, "I've never had a guy's parents say that, like mom say that to me," and that was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to keep going. Do we ever see ourselves starting a business together? And if so, what would it be? Potentially. And I feel like if we were, this is something we were talking about. Wait, there's 2 business ideas we've had that like we've just shot the shit on. One was because like, you know how this Sleepy Girl mocktail was like a huge thing last year and everybody was making these like magnesium tart cherry drinks before bed. Last year we had the idea to like make a canned Sleepy Girl mocktail and call it, well, we shouldn't say what we're going to call it. What if someone steals our business idea?
Yeah.
But actually, I don't know if I like that business idea anymore because I feel like the Sleepy Girl mocktail isn't as commonly seen, like popular anymore. So like,
there's too many drinks.
There's too many canned beverages for every single purpose. But that was one. And then the second one, I think I would love to start a cat brand. Like, okay, guys, cats are underrepresented in stores. There's this big ass aisle filled with shit for dogs. A million different things you can buy your dog, and the cats get this little sliver of the store with jack squat in it. And cats are just always underrepresented in consumerism. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there's always so many things you can buy your dog and these brands for dogs, but there's just not that many for cats. And I also think that cat furniture is so fucking ugly, and it's so hard to have a cute apartment and have cats because the furniture is so ugly. And I think it could be cool to have like a cat brand that is like actually cute aesthetic furniture for your cats.
Look how energized you got from saying this. Like you even sat up and like
I did sit up.
You got fired up. And I guess they do say if you ever are considering starting a business, make sure you start and lead with passion. And I'm just telling you.
So if we were to start a business, maybe it would be something for the cats. What do you think?
We'll see.
I know we can't say too much. We got to keep this under wraps. Okay, we're not starting this business, guys. I'm not, like, maybe someday, but anyways. Okay, I guess I answered that one, but could you see yourself starting a business with me or no?
Yeah, I do. I can.
Okay, cool. Sweet. How do we incorporate Spanish speaking? She said, I'm trying to get my boyfriend to learn more. Take it away, baby.
Pues,
Just start speaking Spanish.
I mean, look, I've gotten that question myself a lot as well, of how do you start learning so much and how do you know so many words and this and that. And before I get into like this is how you can teach, this is how you can have it present in your home, I do have to give yourself credit, and I said this earlier, but like, the person learning the language has to have the interest and the intention of wanting to learn, right? Because it's one thing that baseline. Like, you know, if my partner doesn't speak Spanish and I want them to, but they don't really give a fuck, it's like, there's a lot of friction just from the start, right? So like trying to force hey, we could maybe take classes or this or that might be met with friction. So I do think it helps having the interest. In your case, I think you do. You've always had it since we met. I said that earlier. So it's just so natural to me to like, I speak to you a lot in Spanish. I speak obviously a lot in Spanish with my family, with my friends. So with you, I don't have full ass conversations with you in Spanish, obviously, but I naturally like speak Spanish a lot, whether that's expressions, whether that's like simple words like me pasas el agua, right? Like, can you pass me the water? Like small things like that I just throw at you every single day. A lot of times you're like, what does that mean? And I'll just be like, oh, can you pass me the water? And you clock it. Or, you know, times where you ask me, like, how do you say this? How do you say that? How do you say this? How do you say that? Yeah. And then you start picking up on things. Or times where, like, let's say I'm with you and I'm watching a video or a TikTok in Spanish and I show it to you and I'm like, do you understand what that means? Well, he's talking about this, she's talking about that. And like, it's just in small dosages. But I ultimately think that the easiest way has been just speaking and sink or swim. Like I just throw things at you.
Yeah.
Some stick, some don't. And it's not obviously like excessive. Like I'm not constantly speaking at you in Spanish, but
we speak Spanglish pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's really helped me. Like, yeah, if he wants water, he'll just tell me to ask for it in Spanish. And so I just become familiar with a lot of phrases, specifically slang, because he uses so much slang. So like I pretty much know every bad word and slang word in Spanish. Yeah. Where I struggle is like formal Spanish. Like I'm meeting his tia and I need to like speak about how I'm doing. That I obviously struggle with more, and that's something I need to take like lessons to learn. I mean, I'm sure I could learn with you, but like
yeah.
I think if you're learning a language, the best way to do it is like have an actual instructor, not just like depending on you to spend hours with me every day teaching me. But yeah, I feel like just you incorporating it in our everyday life has helped so much. And yeah, like the curiosity, I have the curiosity to learn, I think, and I want to learn. And anytime I see something like tulips, I'd be like, how do you say that in Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
And he would just like tell me, and I'll just see random things in our day to day and I'll just ask. And that's helped me learn a lot. Like I've learned so many random words because I'll just see things and be like, how do you say that in Spanish? My favorite is when something in Spanish is the same as in English, but with like spice. Like give an example. Like
it's not.
I can't think of
one.
It's
not gonna come to me. It'll come, and I'll chime it in. But I guess one other thing is, your pronunciation is really good for words, and I think that's also something that like when you say a word in passing or whenever, like I'll usually correct you on the pronunciation, and then you get really good at it. Or at times when we're like, I don't know, we're driving and we see a traffic light and I'm like, you know how to say that in Spanish? And you're like, no. And I'm like, semáforo. You're like, semáforo. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Semáforo.
And that's why if you guys ever hear me on TikTok being like jalapeño or tortilla, like I'm not trying to be extra and be annoying, because you know how some people make fun of, like, I get it, like white people when they're like, can I get a burrito? And it's like, the only reason I like pronounce things like that is because he like makes me pronounce them right, and he wants me to pronounce them right, and he says like, I'd much rather you pronounce it correctly and sound like a little silly than be like saying, well, I don't know, what's an example of maybe just butchering a Spanish word, like jalapeno.
Yeah.
And so I really try to pronounce things right, and sometimes I feel like I sound a little embarrassing when I'm like, okay, do we need tortillas? But like I'm just trying to practice, because that's how you learn, and that's how like you actually speak it correctly when someday when we are in Mexico, like I don't want to sound stupid.
And I don't remember where I was, but this happened like last week, maybe at work. Somebody asked me like, hey, you know, like as a Spanish person, do you prefer when people butcher the word with an attempt of trying to pronounce it correctly, or do you prefer when they just say it with a white accent, because then it doesn't seem like they're trying too hard to like sound Spanish? And I think my answer, at least for me, is like I prefer you butcher it but try to say it correctly versus like, hey, let's get some tortilla soup. You know?
Yeah. I'm just trying to like learn it correctly.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. That means a lot to me.
But my accent is good. I mean, I don't want to say it's good. Maybe it's not. But I think my accent's decent because I hear so much Spanish from you that's how I've learned to pronounce things like somewhat correctly. I think it's a lot harder when like you don't have that. Yeah. So you're always like, no, you say it like this. And so that helps. Anyways, okay. So yeah, I would say we didn't really answer a question, but trying to get your boyfriend to learn more, I would just start speaking to him more in Spanish. Just like start talking to him in Spanish. When you're like, we need to leave, say it in Spanish. Like just start saying it in Spanish, and then he'll be like, like he'll start to clock what these things mean. And I think it'll just start coming more naturally, but also like he has to, you know, kind of have the curiosity to like want to learn, and hopefully he does. But how do we get through obstacles or fights? Great question. I feel like we don't really fight in the sense of like having blow up mad fights, like don't talk to me, I'm going to sleep in the other room. That really hasn't happened, but we definitely have arguments. And you are not an easy person to fight with, because he's just like cool, calm, collected, communicative, sits down, understands how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling that way. And then like I'm like forced to be like calm and like gather myself, because I feel like I'm not traditionally I'm not like typically like that. Like past relationships, I've been a lot more angsty, a lot more like quick to fight, perhaps even fight publicly type shit. But that's also because of just like who I was with, right? But you and you help me stay calm. So I don't feel like we fight a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not about like painting ourselves as this perfect couple that never fights and it's all lovey-dovey, because obviously that doesn't exist, and the relationships that pretend to be like that never last. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's like communication is everything, right? Like in previous relationships, I've been in a place where anger, frustration is such a common thing, and then like I get blocked, and then like there's no communication for a few days, and like there's just so much ego. And I think for us, or at least the way we've tried to do things since the beginning, and you've gotten definitely better at it too, is talking about things, right? Like anytime there's an argument, anytime there's a disagreement, like I have a perspective, you have a perspective, right? Just because I have mine and I align with my perspective doesn't mean that I'm right, and just because you align with yours doesn't mean that you're right? Like there's definitely a difference with the way we're thinking about a difference or an argument, and I think it's extremely important that I take the time to listen to what's going on in your mind, and then you take the time to listen to what's going on in my mind. And then once we both put out on the table what is causing the frustration or the whatever feeling that's a negative one is causing in each other, we tackle the problem together, right? So
you just never get defensive.
No, and
that's something that I don't know. I like, it's just interesting because I've never experienced this, but like I'll sit and I'll tell him, wait, hey, this bothered me, and like I just feel this and this and this, and like I'll kind of start spewing it out, and he'll be like, okay, like I understand that I made you feel that way. I didn't see it like that. Like but I don't know. It's so common for people immediately to be like just super defensive, and you do a really good job of like not going there. I can get defensive.
You can get defensive, but for sure. But
yeah.
But again, like let's say like I'm bringing up a subject of something like, hey, like this is on my mind. This has been kind of bugging me, or like I don't like this, or like, you know, this is causing an issue. It doesn't serve me any purpose to approach it with, hey, I'm pointing a finger at you and like I'm pissed off at this.
Yeah.
And just like projecting my negative feeling towards you, and then just so you can listen to it, and that's it, right? It's like I approach it with a sense of like, hey, I have a feeling. This is what that feeling is. I feel like it's getting caused by this. I just want to put it in front of you. Like, what do you think? And then there's times where you're like, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. You're like, you're right. Thanks for telling me. Or you're like, well, no, it's because you did this, or it's because this or that. And then it just opens up a conversation, right? It's an opportunity for us to understand what's going on in each other's heads. And then once we remove ourselves and our egos and our identities from the topic, we can tackle it together, right? And then understand what the root cause is of the disagreement, or like the whatever, and figure it out. Like it's really easy when you're willing to communicate and put your egos aside, and it's not about who's right or who's wrong or who wins or who loses, because like if we're in this together, then it's like it's us two against the problem, right? And if you can see it that way, like it's easier to tackle it. And then there's obviously the small, short, petty things that like, okay, whatever. And like, yeah, we can act a bit childish, but like a few minutes after, 20 minutes after, it's like, hey, let's talk.
That's my issue, is like I get really caught up in the moment, and sometimes my ego comes into play. Here, is the camera still on?
Yeah.
There's a red light?
Yeah.
Okay. I can get really like caught up and like hot-headed, and like it's my ego talking, and like I want to be right, and I can get defensive. And you're a great role model for this, because I need to like be better at putting it aside and like listening, and I'm trying, and I don't know. It's helpful. It just would be like disastrous if you were also that way.
And something that I think, and you're going to agree, and it's not to point fingers, but you do this way more than I do, where if there's something on your mind that's bugging you, you usually don't bring it up.
Yeah.
You swallow it and you let it build. And I know you so well that I can immediately be like, what's going on?
Yeah, you do.
And then you're like,
you are crazy with that.
Nothing.
Like, you know,
nothing.
He can like sense something is off in the first 5 seconds of me being off.
And I think like that's such an important topic to talk about, because it happens in our relationship, but it also happens in most relationships, I feel, is you start getting bothered by something and you don't think it's important enough to bring it up. So you just like rub it off, and then it starts building and building, and just like a glass of water, the drops start adding up until what happens? It overflows.
I tend to do that a lot.
Yeah, you do that more than I do, but I think it's important that you need to find the comfortability of like, the second I feel like something is bugging me, like analyze it and be like, is this me? Am I overreacting? Or no, this is actually something, and it could be really minimal, and just bring it up. Right? And just be like, hey, I was thinking about this and it kind of bugs me.
Yeah. I'm trying to get better at communication because I can tend to bottle things in, and like I don't feel like I start second guessing myself if it's worth bringing up, because maybe it's something stupid, or maybe like I shouldn't care about it. And so I'll just like put it inside, and then he's like, just tell me. And then once I tell him, it's immediately like fine.
Like, for example, we got into an argument 2 days ago. Today's Tuesday. This was Sunday. I'm not going to discuss what the argument's about because that's irrelevant, but it was exactly what we were just talking about. I felt like something was off with you in the morning, and I knew there was something in your mind, just the way you were acting and talking. And I was like, all right, whatever. We kind of move on from it, and I could just sense there was something in your energy and in your vibe. And I was like, what's going on, baby? Nothing. Okay. I know there's something, like, talk to me about it. No, nothing. And like, I'm fine. What do you mean? Classic. Hours pass by up to the point where like, okay, like there's obvious that something's going on. And I had to sit your ass down, and I was like, hey, like, I don't want to fight. I'm not here in an aggressive manner. I'm here to listen. My ears are open. I'm not going to open my mouth. Talk to me. I will listen to you.
Yeah.
And I had to get it out of you. And then once you explain what was on your mind, I didn't immediately felt attacked. I didn't immediately was like, well, it was like, oh, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Here's what I think. Blah, 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 blah. And then we just had like a 20-minute peaceful conversation. And then what happened? We obviously tackled it together, and then we were like, that was so dumb. Why did you bottle up for hours?
I think key component here is staying calm. Like, because I feel like once one person starts to get it, just like you start to feed off of each other's energy, is staying calm and being a good and active listener. I feel like that's what is really key, and that's where like I have not been the best in the past, is like I can just be so focused on my own emotion and how I feel, like nobody can tell me anything different. I'm just like stubborn in that sense. But maybe it's like the oldest child in you.
I don't know. I mean,
it
it's
probably
also
is, because like you're the oldest child, and
but I haven't always been like this, right? Like, sure, I'm 31 years old now, and I'm not perfect or like my most mature self. Like, there's still so much more that I need to grow into. But I have had a lot in my past where like I was forced to grow to the place that I am now, right? And I'm still on that path. But back to what you were saying just a few minutes ago about like you need to be an active listener, because this is something that I feel like I do with you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's funny because I was talking with a friend that also has a girlfriend, and we were just kind of like surface level talking about, yeah, like we got into an argument, this or that. And this piece of advice, I don't know where I heard it because it's nothing super niche, maybe a podcast or somewhere. But like when you're talking to your partner and they're expressing an emotion or like they're stressed about something, I feel like we as humans like subconsciously immediately want to chime in with our opinion, our perspective. Yeah. And then it doesn't become you're telling me how you feel. It becomes you say something and then I'm thinking about what to say. So the advice,
and how I relate to it.
Advice is when you're talking to me about something that's stressing you out, whether that's me or like something on your day, I will be like, hey, do you want advice or do you want me to listen? And when you ask a partner that, as your partner's trying to express, let's say, frustration or something, and you say, do you want me to listen or do you want advice? That puts me in the place where I'm like, I actually don't want advice. I just want you to listen.
Yeah, because sometimes you just want to talk and you don't want.
And then I'm like, okay, perfect. And then I'll shut the fuck up and I'll just listen to you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're like, no, I actually like I want to consult it. Like I want advice or like I want to talk about it. So then I listen and then I chime in. But I think having the consciousness and the awareness to like, hey, maybe I should just not say anything. Like do you want me to just listen and not talk? And you saying yes, I do that. And it works a lot of the times.
It does work. Sometimes I just need to just tell you everything that's going
on. And likewise.
And you don't even need to respond. I just want to tell you it. Does Rafa miss Mexico?
I do. One of the things that I'm grateful for is the fact that from San Antonio, you can fly to Mexico, and it's a 2-hour flight. And if you buy it in advance, it's fairly accessible. So I do go to Mexico like at least minimum once a year, but ideally 2, sometimes 3, not always, but like I feel like I do go often. I still have a lot of family there, so it's something.
I miss Mexico.
Yeah. And then with you, like we've taken our own individual Mexico trips where like I don't go as like I'm going back to see family, and it's just like now we're going to explore, to vacation. So
Mexico City is one of the very few places that, well, not very few, but I guess there's other places I've been that I feel this way about, but it's somewhere that like I've been now 3 times, and like after a couple months I always want to go back. Like, when you've seen somewhere, you're like, oh, I've been there. Like, do I need to go back? Not really. Mexico City is somewhere that like I need to go back. I love going, and every time is a different experience, and every time is a different food scene and a different, like we do something completely different, like different cultural scene, whatever it is, like we'll go do something new. And it's somewhere that like, I know I've only been 3 times, but like I can't see myself getting sick of going. No. It's like somewhere that I always want to go back, and I could just revisit because there's so much there. You could never be bored.
Never. And it's just such a nice change of pace. And a lot of people don't, I guess at least people that live in Texas or Austin, but don't realize like how easy it is to get to Mexico City. Like a lot of people think like, oh, international, like Mexico City, like maybe I'll go next year, but like, dude, it's shorter than going to fucking New York, like it's a 2-hour flight in and out, direct flight.
It's shorter
so easy.
Than going to LA.
You can go.
If you live in Texas, why have you not been to Mexico City yet?
Like it takes 2 hours, and you can go from like Friday to Sunday, Thursday to Sunday. You have an amazing weekend and come back.
My friend Meg just did a solo trip there. She just went by herself, and she had the most amazing time. It's even a great place if you're just wanting to take a solo trip. Even that it's a great place to do that. There's just so much there. But again, we're rapid firing. Hardest part about living together. Fuck, these are loaded questions.
I know, like how do you rapid fire
I think
that?
The hardest part about living... Okay, actually, we're going to combine this because this is hardest part about living together, but also how to keep the spice alive when you live together. Intimacy. Okay, Mom, turn it off. I'm kidding. My mom does not listen. I don't think my mom listens to the podcast. I don't think... Just like how people say marriage is hard. I don't think marriage... I'm sure there's parts of marriage that are difficult, yes, but like... Marriage shouldn't overall, the theme overall shouldn't just be hard. Same with like living together. Like, living together is hard. Like if it always feels hard, that's a little concerning. But like there's obviously hard times and ups and downs. But when people just like brand marriage as like hard, it's like, okay, well, I hope marriage isn't that hard. Like I hope I would say positive things about it first. And then of course there's obviously times, but I feel like there's not a lot of really hard parts about living together. I'm trying to think like what I would say is like the hardest.
I think, and this is a common one, it's just when you're not living together yet, obviously you see each other so often, you still have a ton of independence when you're back in your own nest and free time. And that's something that I value a ton. And I've lived alone for the past 7 years in a small ass studio, very small place, alone, tiny. Didn't have a ton of stuff, but it was my little nest, and I loved it. And I love that independence of just being as a guy alone every now and then. And I think that can be challenging unless I make a conscious effort to have my own time. Because when you're living together and coexisting, like, today I get back home from work, I'm burnt out and I just kind of want to chill. But then you're here, you've been home all day, and you're like, let's be together. And like, we could just get into a habit of like in the evenings, just sit on the couch together or watch TV or like be lazy. And sometimes I think having that just alone time can be hard. And I think it's important to make the conscious effort to put that as a priority, and every now and then like be like, hey, like I need to do my own thing, whether that's here in in our place or I need to go somewhere. I just need to be alone from time to time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's definitely a big one. And off of it, like, yeah, because you spend so much less time alone when you live together. It's like you don't really have to be like do as much like self-reflection, be alone, spend time with your own thoughts. Like also being alone, I feel like when I was alone, that's when I was like the most creative because I was just like bored and coming up with shit. But when we're together, it's like we can just chill, we can relax, we can watch TV, we can watch movies, like we can just talk, and you don't have to do that like inward reflection as much or like coming up with new ideas. Like we're just chilling and having fun. And so I think that's a difficult thing is your mind and body automatically wants to do the easy thing. And that's just like, as soon as work is done for the day, just chill and relax, but which is fine. And we do that all the time, but I definitely don't do as much like sitting down, being alone, journal, read, come up with ideas, come up with new things I want to start because we're just like chilling. So I think that's kind of a challenge is like making time for that and then like committing to it. And
it's not all about like having that free time to allocate it to productivity and be productive and journal and come up with ideas and blah, blah, blah. But like sometimes even...
Okay, shit on me.
No. I mean, obviously that's important for sure.
I don't mean like be productive. I mean, productivity is one of them, but I don't know. I just think like I'm a little lazier when I live with them with
for
someone.
Sure, because we just start morphing into one another, and like our free time starts turning into our free time, and what do we do with the free time that we have? And I think sometimes something as silly as, you know, when I'm living alone and like let's say I'm bored and I want to watch a movie, like I'll just choose whatever movie I want to watch. It could be any genre, but like let's say it's an action movie, right? Like maybe you don't love action movies, so like when we have free time, like we like, what do we watch? And like we just start morphing. So I think it's just like every now and then having your own time where you're like, I just want to do my own thing, whatever that is, whether it's productive or whether it's just relaxation or chilling. It's important.
Yeah, making intentional time to be alone is difficult
for sure.
And if that's our biggest challenge, like I ain't too mad about it. And I get also like off of that, just you get so, let's just go run errands together. Let's go do this together. Let's do everything together. And then sometimes when you do things alone, you're like, this kind of feels weird. And like, that's not normal. So yeah, making time for yourself is kind of, can be a challenge, but okay. Remember we're rapid firing. Oh, how we keep the spice alive. How do we keep the spice alive?
I don't know if I want to talk about that in the podcast.
You're getting uncomfortable.
Dude, like, what if your mom listens to this?
Okay, let me see. How can I make it short and sweet? Change it up. Try new things.
Change it up. Be vocal.
Be vocal. Yeah, honestly, no. Be vocal.
That's an easy one, and that's high level in PG.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a common thing, and you see this everywhere in movies, in podcasts, in professional, like, you know, relationship gurus. Obviously, like, it's such a thing where, like, when you're coexisting so much and, like, you've been married for so long. I mean, I haven't been there myself, so I can't speak from experience, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. But I do think, like, things tend to slow down, and then one party might want to have some spice, but, like, you don't even know how to bring it up because, let's say, there hasn't been spice in a while, and then you're just like, all right, whatever, and then you just bottle it in. It kind of goes hand in hand with, like, what we're talking about, problems and how to be communicative. It's just be vocal. Be
vocal, and off of that, like, because sometimes, let's say your partner is like, what the hell, it's been a while, and they think, oh, it's me. They're not attracted to me right now, or like they're not into me, and like sometimes it's not that at all, and you don't feel good. Because like I talked about this on an episode that, like, last year when I was not feeling great physically and mentally, like if I don't feel good about how I look or like how I'm feeling physically, like I'm not super horny, respectfully. And so, but like you need to communicate that to your partner that like you're not feeling good. Like, I'm not feeling great. That's like why it's been a while. Look at us like beating around the bush. Like, we're fucking adults. We can say whatever. I love how you're like, your mom's gonna listen to
no,
this.
But like,
but it's true. It's like, but you could take it as like, oh, wow, she must not be attracted to me. And it's like, no, it's just, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And for women, especially like men, it's like, they can do it all day. Right. I mean, at least that's what a lot of them. Women, it's different. It ebbs and flows. That's something I think all women can agree on, is like, it's not a constant thing that always necessarily you feel good about, right? You're not always necessarily in the mood for it, whereas I think men, it's a little easier for them. And it's important to communicate that with your partner, that like, because it ebbs and flows. I don't know how to talk about this.
And be vocal about what you want.
I want to say what I really want to say, but I'm also like, what if your like mother is listening to this? And actually, my family does listen to this podcast because
I know they do.
I told you we're in an email chain. My family's in an email chain right now, sharing our favorite songs and our favorite poems. Like not just like my immediate family, like my extended family. And they mentioned something about tearing it up. So, anyways, moving on. Communicate. That's how you keep the spice alive. And try new things. Switch it up.
And surprise each other.
Surprise each other. Because it's so easy to not be surprised when you live together.
Take action.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna do 2 more and then we'll call it a day. How do we stay healthy and active without cutting out like yummy foods that we love and drinks? I think that's a great question because I think we're both very on the same page about how we view balance with like lifestyle and fitness and stuff. You're a little more intense than I am when it comes to like, you know, your intermittent fasting and things like that. I'm probably a little more lenient with that stuff, but I mean, we definitely lead a very not very necessarily very healthy, but we lead a very active lifestyle, but we still enjoy cocktails on the weekends, desserts, great food. We still go ham at a buffet every now and again, or like with the menu, we definitely be getting a few different apps.
I don't think we've ever been to a buffet.
I don't know why I said buffet, actually.
But I mean, it was like a metaphor.
Like it was a metaphor, but yeah. So how do we do it? You know, I think, look, I'm like asking you and then I'm answering it, but I mean, it does come down to balance. And it's like, if we're going to go out on the weekend and drink at night and have a couple drinks and have dessert and have dinners and stuff, like, okay, the next morning, let's go to yoga or go on a walk and let's try to maybe choose a more like balanced breakfast. Like we're not going to like nuke the entire weekend really bad. Look, we'll have our things that we enjoy here and there, but like try to just balance it with other healthy things or walking or moving, you know?
Yeah. And
what would you say?
I mean, same. And I just think I've always been, or not always, but at least in the past few years when I started taking like health and wellness seriously and fitness and like eating well, is like during the week, just how it's a work week or a school week, whatever. It's like
school week.
I don't like, you know what I mean? It's like the week of
yeah,
life and busyness and productivity and bullshit. Like I just don't like eating junk shit during the week. I'm very strict on it. And I'm like Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday, not counting Friday night, but Friday during the day. It's a healthy week. I'll try my best to eat as healthy as I can. The weekends, you can let yourself go. Does that mean we'll rip 16 burgers? Obviously not. But like, there's no fun if you're just like fully anal about eating all healthy. So I think
that's also because we're so into food. I think some people don't care as much about food and like they eat more just to sustain, and like that's easier for the weekend on the weekend to just eat your like beef and rice. But like we love food. Like that's a huge part of our relationship is eating and going out to eat and trying new drinks and trying new foods. And so it's like I just can't imagine us like completely sacrificing that.
No. But we have structure.
Yeah.
Right? Like during the week, we make the conscious effort of like, let's try to be as healthy and clean as we can. And in the weekends, we can have fun. Just like, I mean, it's as simple as that, right? Try to exercise. We both love exercising. It's important to us. We try to exercise as often as we can, almost daily, truthfully, whatever exercise that is. But yeah, when it comes to nutrition and eating, it's like Monday to Friday, at least for me, very strict, boring, but it's just how I like it. And then weekends, I have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
I didn't
how we
always
do it.
used to be like that, by the way.
And we try not to drink during the week.
No.
I will, like if there's something special that week, like maybe I'll have a couple drinks, but I try not to have any alcohol during the week. And then I also try to eat pretty clean during the week. He's a little more strict than I am. Like I'll snack here and there and stuff, but
also let me add some context because I don't want to sound like an almond mom.
You're
but
not.
The truth is, I don't have the metabolism and I've just never had the genetics to like be able to eat shitty often and like feel healthy. Like in college, I was fat. I used to be the heaviest I got for my size, my BMI was 200 pounds, which is on the BMI scale, it's obese.
You guys would be shook if you saw what
I had a crazy transformation.
Rafa's before and afters.
Yeah, so
you really should post a video about it. and not like a way of like being like, oh, this is what I used to, but like just like it is a cool transformation how you like changed your life really. That's a whole nother episode though, but
yeah, we'll
he had a big glow up.
We'll put that for another one, but yeah, I mean the point is that if I let myself go and I just start eating shitty, like I'll gain weight really, really quickly. So that's why also like once I got to that point in my life, then again, maybe for another episode, because I was going through a very hard time, big breakup, depression, I got overweight, blah, blah, blah. And then one day I was like, I need to get my shit together. And I had that transformation and I took nutrition and exercise and like just healthy habits very, very seriously.
He went from Rafa to Rafa.
I kind of started, like I forced myself to just like get my shit together.
A breakup will do that to you.
That's when, honestly, and then that's when I figured out this system that works for me, which is like, it's the 80-20 rule, right? It's like 80% of my week, of my nutrition, of my habits, it's focused on being as healthy as I can. And then some wiggle room for fun.
Mm-hmm. That's life.
That's
balance.
Balance.
Balance is everything. You should still enjoy the things you love, but, you know, also care about, you know, what you're putting in your body to some extent. Which has helped me a lot because, guys, when I was living alone, like I would eat Trader Joe's soup dumplings for dinner. I would eat a lot of frozen food. Like I didn't really know how to cook. And you've really helped me be not like, it's like I've always liked healthy food and I wanted to eat it, but I've never been good at being consistent about it. Like, okay, I'm going to cook every single day and these are what I'm going to make. Like you've helped a lot in that, like me just maintaining that structure. Because I can have the intention on Sunday that I'm going to cook every day. And then the day comes and I'm like, fuck, I just want to like pop something in the microwave.
Or DoorDash something.
Or DoorDash something. Because yeah, the second I start to feel like I'm like overwhelmed or stressed, like I immediately just like resort to like whatever's easiest. And it's helpful being with someone that will do accountable for those things because I am trying to eat better. And it is crazy that like I've just been eating better for a couple months now. And I really do feel
and then that's
a lot better.
Thing. It's like when you feel so good, it's like,
it's all worth it.
Hard, yeah.
Okay, last question. Do I ever feel jealous or insecure about my partner? We just end on a bang. No, like not really, hardly ever for me. I think I just feel very secure in this relationship. Like I have very little like doubt or like trust issues with you. You've never given me a reason not to trust you. If you gave me a reason to, maybe, but you've been transparent since the beginning, unless there is something I don't know. But like, yeah, I mean, I've just never, I trust people up until I don't. And because they give me a reason to, and you've never given me a reason to. And other than that, like, yeah, I don't feel jealous or, I mean, okay, I guess like, yeah, if I was at a, well, maybe not jealous, but like, yeah, if a girl came up to you and was like really flirting with you and you were like reciprocating it, I'd be like, the fuck?
Yeah.
But like, you would never do that.
No.
So no, I would say no for that one. And, yeah, I just feel really secure in my relationship. Like I'm very reassured all the time. So yeah, I guess that's kind of a boring answer, but it's the truth. What about you?
I mean, the same for me. I mean, look, it's obviously like, it's a challenging one, right? Because, I mean, you're obviously beautiful. You post yourself so much in social media that it's so easy for me to have the mentality and like the insecurity of like, oh my God, like so many people are watching you, so many guys are watching you. Are they DMing you? Are they sliding on you? And I could just have this mentality of like, holy shit, I'm so insecure and I need to be so overprotective and controlling and this and that. And I don't think I've ever been like that with you.
And people that do that are just projecting their own.
And I think you can vouch for, like, I don't want to sound like I'm this cool, like I'm so secure in myself, like I'm so cool, like not at all. Because again, this is for another episode, but like I was in a very long relationship for 4 years. And there was a ton of toxic shit in that. And there was a lot of it. I was so insecure in that relationship. And I was so like overprotective and jealous. And I was just insecure. And then through that growth long phase that I had, that I worked on myself so much, I just developed so much self-love and so much self-confidence that when I approached this relationship with you, like obviously knowing that I know when you go out and I'm not there, I know you're going to get hit on. Like, I know that eyes are going to be looking at you, and I know that for a fact. But ultimately, it's just like, I trust you, and I trust that, you know, you're not going to do anything to sabotage the relationship. And if you do, or if you ever do, and this is just speaking hypothetically, if you ever do, then like, that was a choice you made, and it's going to hurt, but like, I'm not going to control it, and I'm not going to expect to have that control over you. Like, if you decide to fuck things up, that's a choice you made, and that's it. Like, you deal with that. Like, you learn from that, but like, goodbye. Like,
yeah. Well, I won't.
I know, and I'm not saying you will, but like, but what I'm trying to say is like, I don't live with that fear of insecurity because I've been that person in previous relationships, and it just never served me well. So now it's just, again, like, I love you, but I love myself as well. And I put myself as a priority, and I'm at peace.
Yeah.
And if, like you said, if you break the trust, then you broke it. And
that's that.
That's that. Like,
it's over.
Yep.
It's over. Okay. Last one, actually. Sorry. Do we talk about marriage and kids, or do we just live in the moment?
Both. We have had conversations, obviously, about the future. I mean, if we're dating, I wouldn't say this long, because like, to some people, this isn't enough time. To some people, it is like, oh my God, like, you've been together 2.5 years. Where's the ring?
I know.
Right. Like, some
that's
people,
just crazy to me. I don't think that way at all. Like, I don't see people that have been together 2.5 years or 3 years or even 4 years, and I'm like, oh my God, where's their ring? Maybe if it's like 8 or 9, yeah, and we're like in our late 20s, early 30s. But I just think that's so interesting that people do that.
And some people don't, right? Some people don't think that's a lot. It's like, oh, like 2 years, like, there's so much life in you. And some people are like, oh, you've been together 2-3 years, like, when are you getting married? And that's just different people. There's no right or wrong, right? But for us, I mean, we're obviously dating with intention. Like, we decided to move in together. Like, of course, we have conversations about the future. There's days where like, there's more excitement, and we're like, oh my God, yeah, like, family and kids, and we get into that topic. And then there's days where we get home,
like, and yesterday.
We're like, there's days where we're like, what the fuck? Like, we can barely even survive with 2 cats that are ruining my life because they're so annoying. Like,
I feel like I'm running a damn daycare in here.
So I think there's like, I mean, we know, and at least not to get into it super detailed, because obviously there has to be some, you know, privacy to it, but we know it's
our timeline.
We know our timeline, like, it'll happen in the future, but am I like, I need kids tomorrow and this, like, no. In fact, kids are something that we're like, yeah, we'll navigate that when we come to it, because I don't know. I posted a video about this, but I feel like weird about that whole thing. Like, I just don't know what I want. But I think I want kids, but also sometimes I feel like I don't, and I just don't know yet. And I just feel like I'm not in the phase of life yet that I need to worry about it or think about it. My mom had me at 42 or something, or 43. Like, granted, that's rare that can happen necessarily, but it's just not something that's on my radar right now. Kids. Mm-hmm. And I think my perspective on that may change as I get older. It may not. But for now, that's something that, like, sure, we can mention, oh my God, if I have a kid someday, or if we have a kid someday, I would want to do X, Y, and Z. But it's not something that, like, we talk about, like, all the time, and we're just, like, waiting until the day we have children. No, I know. But it's something that is present, obviously. And I think more when it comes to, like, yeah, the kid portion, maybe gray area, and it changes every now and then. But, and also, like, for marriage, like, we obviously have the conversations, and ultimately, like, we're dating with intention, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we're dating with intention, and, like, or at least the way I see it is, like, I'm 31. Am I saying I'm super old and late to the game? No. Some people do think that. Some people say 30s or the new 20s, you have so much life in you. But, like, at the same time, it's like, I wouldn't be wasting my time at this age and, like, dating someone and living with someone if I didn't do that with an intention of, like, okay, like, I want this to be it, right? So, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I just feel like I'm not in any rush. He's not in any rush. Like, I don't know. I'm happy living in the moment. I love where things are at, and I feel pretty content with that. And I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like a lot of people are really in a hurry to like the next chapter. And that's fine if that's the timeline you're on. But I think there's something really fun about dating, and like you might as well just enjoy it while you can. I mean, if you're ready to get married, great. But I'm like, I love this phase of life that I'm in.
Yeah.
I love living together, love dating. I love the cats, and I'm happy. So it's like, until I feel differently about that, I'm going to keep enjoying it.
Exactly.
And we obviously talk about, oh, well, when we get married or what I would want at my wedding specifically or whatever, but we don't have timelines set.
Yeah.
We need to feed the cats dinner really bad. What's your least favorite thing to do in this apartment?
Deal with the fucking cat hair that's everywhere and on my clothes.
Take it back.
I won't.
I love you. My favorite thing though is when I'm on a trip and I see some cat hair on my clothes and I remember them.
That's so cute.
Well, you guys, that concludes today's episode. Oh, actually, let's finish on a recommendation. What is one thing that you want to recommend to the listeners right now? Mine is a Nod Pod. A Nod Pod is a weighted eye mask that you like lay on your face at night. And I'm obsessed with mine. So is Rafa. He has one. And they're the best because they don't like, you just like lay it over your face and it gives you that pressure on your eyes so that you fall asleep. But they don't like tie around your head. So then in the morning, because if I have like an eye mask on that goes around my eyes, I can't wake up because it's too dark. And like my body just like will not wake up because it's dark wearing the eye mask. But the Nod Pod falls off in the middle of the night. And it helps me go to sleep, but then it falls off so I can wake up in the morning. I don't know. I just love it. It's like something I need to fall asleep. I'm obsessed. That's my recommendation. What's yours?
So what I'm going to recommend is, earlier in the podcast, I said how life-changing good pairs of socks are. So do me a favor, if you have a man's, go check his socks. If they need to be replaced, or if you want to give someone socks, or if you want socks for yourself, especially like just white, normal, longish socks. The brand that I found that is my favorite, it's called Go With. GOWITH. And Tatis, you even love them. You steal them from me.
Oh, I do. Those are the best.
It's a great pair of socks. I spent hours doing research on TikTok, on Google about just the perfect white sock. I don't know if this is the best,
One
but
thing
for
about
me
Rafa
it
is
works.
he's gonna do his research.
They're called Go With socks.
Great recommendation. Okay. Shop his link. Guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I know this was quite a lengthy one, but we still didn't get through most of the questions. So this will have to be a part 2 because this was fun.
Well, I mean, I guess let's have.
Oh, it is 6:40.
Let's have the people decide that. What if they listen to like, wait.
Yeah, if you guys hated this episode, let me know. If you loved it, let me know. Download, save. I don't know. Comment. Yeah, do the thing. Thank you. And it is 6:40 p.m. So 6:32. We need to make dinner, feed the cats, clean up the cat hair that's all on this couch right now. And the cats are hungry. Yeah. As am I. We're making steaks tonight, baby.
Oh, shit.
We're making steak and potato.
I got home from the office, immediately podcast, and now time to cook some steaks.
We got to preheat the oven. Okay. See you guys next week, and love you.